everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is second chapter in the subject EMF, that's Coulomb's law and field intensity, or you can also said as the static electric field. Okay, so this chapter and the next couple of chapters will be discussing about various aspects of this electrostatics. Okay, so what is meant by this electrostatic is, if anything in an electric field, if it is at rest, then it is called a static electric field. Electric field if it is at rest, okay, then it is electrostatic field. Okay, so generally we know if you're telling if something is charging, okay, charging means there are two things going on in that. Okay, one is either removal of electrons, okay, or addition of electrons. Okay, addition of electrons. So if any atom, generally any atom we have, right? So that is any atom, it is completely like, it is neutral always. Okay, the negative charge, like when the negative charge means nothing but the electrons, right? Electrons will have the negative charge and the protons will have the positive charge. Okay, so this negative charge is around this orbit. Okay, electrons will be revolving here, and this negative charge is balanced with the positive charge of the protons. Okay, protons are present in the nucleus. Okay, this is balanced with the protons over here. Okay, protons, electrons. Okay, if any one of the electron will jump from its valence orbit to another atom or something, okay, then here it become electron deficient, right? That means the protons are more in number when compared to these electrons. That means it becomes, protons are of positive charge, then it is positive charged atom. Okay, if the any electron is again adding to this atom, okay, then that means it is electrons are more in that atom. So this nothing but this addition of some electrons to another atom which takes place, this process is called as electric charge. Okay, so what happens generally in electric field? Now what is meant by electric field? I think it's clear, right? Flow of electrons is called as electric current or electric field. Okay, electric charge. So the region around these kind of atoms, that is called as electric field. So generally there are two types in it, the positive and negative field, right? So if there is positive one, something like this, the electric field is there. Okay, if it is negative, you can see the electrons coming towards it. Okay, so generally we'll be having these two kinds of positive and negative charges in an atom. Okay, this is called as field due to positive charge, and this is called as field due to negative charge. These arrow marks, what I am representing over here, this is the field, its area. Okay, this field is nothing but it is called as electric field. Okay, so generally we have already known, like the like charges will repel each other and unlike charges will attract each other. So this is the main concept in the electricity is this thing, like charges attract, repel, and unlike charges attract each other. Like charges attract, okay, each other. So these are two basic things, right? Based on this, we will see how actually this force of attraction and all is taking place. We will see. Okay, suppose if there is a positive charge over here and a negative charge over here, so these are called, these are unlike charges, so they will attract each other. So the magnets, the both will be having something like this. Okay, these are called the lines of flux. Okay, so there will be attraction over here. If there are same charges, okay, for example like this, then they will repel. They will not attract each other, they will repel. So these are the basic things which you have learned from a longer time, right? So now we'll see what is meant by this Coulomb's law and all. Okay, And also we'll see what laws of electrostatics, like what I have said, like charges and unlike charges. We'll see in detail how this happens theoretically. Okay. So the laws of electrostatic are two laws. Okay. The first one is like charges repel. Okay. And unlike charges attract. Unlike charges attract. Okay. And the second one is Coulomb's inverse square law. Inverse square law. Okay. This I have already explained. Okay. So we will see what exactly is this Coulomb's inverse square law. Okay. What it actually states is that the force of attraction or repulsion also, okay, between two charges is directly proportional to magnitudes of charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. To the square of the distance between them. Okay. Now we will see what it actually meant here. Okay. Force of attraction between two charges. Two charges are like a positive charge or the negative charge. Any two charges. Okay. It is directly proportional to the magnitude of those charges. The magnitude of what the charges have. Okay. And it is also inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Suppose if there is this positive charge and suppose some negative charge over here, the force of attraction between this, it will depend upon the magnitude of these charges, how much intensity these charges have, it will depend upon it, and the square of the distance. See, if these two are far away from each other, even though they are of opposite charges, there will be no attraction between them. It depends upon the distance at what they are placed and the magnitudes of these charges. Okay, if the distance is nearby, then there will be attraction. If it's suppose some charge is over here and something is over here, for example, okay, if there is their magnitudes are less, okay, to get attracted, then it completely depends upon the distance between them. It will not attract with each other because the distance is very far from each other. Now we'll see theoretically. Okay, now as we said, there are two charges. Let us consider those charges are Q1 and Q2. Okay, these are 2-point charges, and we said distance also is there, so the distance is given by the letter R. Okay, so if you are applying some force to this, okay, force is applied, force is produced. Okay, then we have two conditions over here. First one is F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2, the charges over here. And the second condition is F is directly proportional to 1 by R square. Okay, that means if you equate these two, F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2 by R square. Okay, so if you remove the proportionality over here, that becomes F is equal to K into Q1, Q2 by R square. This is the actual Coulomb's law. Okay, this K is nothing but this is the constant. Okay, and here you can also tell if the force of one of the attraction, if the charges Q1 and Q2, these two charges are of opposite polarities, and if both Q1 and Q2 are both positive or negative, force will be repulsive force. If it is of opposite charge only, there will be force present, and if these are of same charges, either same positive or negative, there will be no force. No force in the sense there will be repulsive force. Okay, so this K can also be written as, there's one formula for this one. K is, it can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon. Epsilon is called as permittivity of the medium. Permittivity of the medium. Okay, this is nothing. After substituting this constant value in the force, So substituting those values, it becomes F is equal to Q1 Q2 by 1 by 4 pi epsilon, right? 4 pi epsilon r square. So if the medium is vacuum, or any free space, then epsilon will be equal to epsilon naught. Okay, this is the force equation, Coulomb's law. So what is this epsilon naught value? Is nothing but 8.854 into 10 power minus 12 farads per meter. This is the formula for epsilon naught, permittivity. Okay, so you can also tell this as, in a vacuum or free space, the force will be F is equal to Q1 Q2 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Okay, and the force units are newtons. Force is always measured in newtons. So this equation is applied when it is in free space or vacuum, like we said. Okay, or vacuum. I think this is clear. This is how you will be solving the Coulomb's inverse square law. Okay, and if you substitute these values also, for pi value 3.14 and epsilon naught 8.854 and all, everything in this equation, you will get it the force value as around F is equal to, I'm just rewriting again, 4 pi is 3.14 into 8.854 into 10 power minus 12, okay, into r square, this one is Q1 Q2. So that becomes F is equal to 9 into 10 power 9 Q1 Q2 by r square newtons. Okay, this is how you can solve Coulomb's inverse square law. Substituting these values, you will get F value as this much. Okay, this is how you will be solving some of the problems also. When two charges are given, okay, and distance is given, what is the force? We will be solving these kind of problems also in the next videos. Okay, next topic is about vector form of Coulomb's law equation. This is general formula. Now we'll see in the form of vectors also in the coming videos. I hope it is clear and I think it's useful.